As many of you guys know, I'm actually going to be creating two different countries on this whole map. So what we're going to be doing in today's episode is actually creating the border crossing, basically where all the, it kind of looks like the toll booth, where they all go through the lanes and they have to get checked, blah, 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 blah. And that's basically what we're going to be doing today. So a lot to get through, so let's get through it. In terms of naming the different countries and the whole region, the map and things like that, that's all going to be specifically in the next episode. Originally, I was going to do it in this episode, but this one, oof, building this took me a long time because there's lots of little details and things like that, and it took me a while to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. So I went into the Steam Workshop and I found this asset here, which is supposed to be a border crossing, and I know that generally border crossings, they don't have the actual crossing point at the same position. Usually they have one kind of further ahead than one backwards, but just because of the asset that I found, I just wanted to use this one just because it's easy, it's simple, and I thought, why don't we just do the whole crossing in one big facility. And one thing that I did specifically leave out is if there's a lane where cars can turn back. Sometimes, well, I've never actually gone through any of these crossings. Fortunately, Australia, we just have water as the border, so I've never been through one of these in real life. But I assume they have little lanes where if you need to go back, if you don't want to cross the border, or if you get to the border crossing, then you have some kind of reason why you can't go across, then you're sent back. So I didn't do any of those lanes. So basically, you can only go forward. Yes, and I know some people are going to call me out on that, but whatever. So in this episode, I'm just going to show you guys me detailing and planning out one side of the whole area, just because either side is pretty much the same. So what I want to do is have lots and lots and lots of lanes. Now, the outer lanes, they're going to be specifically for trucks, and just because we have all these lanes doesn't mean we're necessarily going to be using all of them. But I wanted to have a specific little area just for the trucks to go through. I could have gone further and made areas for buses and things like that, but in terms of everything else, they all just go straight through all of the 6-lane area, I think. And basically it is a toll booth if we're going to be technical about it, just because border crossings don't really exist in City Skylines. There's not really anything for it in general, so you do have to use the toll booth. And the toll booth price is, I set it at the maximum just because, I mean, cars and vehicles, they're going to go through it anyway, so why don't we generate money from it as well. So there's going to be lots and lots of barriers, lots of fences, lots of walls. At the end of the video, you'll notice one of the walls is actually quite high because this is supposed to be a border crossing, so I don't want it to look like they can just drive up, get out of the car, then run into the bush. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure that there are some high fences that aren't easily accessible, if you know what I mean. At the moment, this border crossing, it is kind of just in the middle of nowhere. I was going to go further into like doing the borders and putting up fences and walls, but at the moment, we're just going to say that the water is going to act as the border. So once they actually come into this side, they're actually already in the country, but then they have to go through the actual border crossing facility. I don't know if I show it on camera, but I actually made sure all of the lanes were connected properly. So all of the lanes come up, and I didn't want them to suddenly crisscross all over the place, because you'll notice throughout this video, I actually put down a lot of the lines. So you see how the lines on the road now, they're the little dashes where they can basically change lanes, overtake, things like that. I actually disable that, so they can't overtake each other, they can't cross lanes, they can't go around and do things like that. So once they get into this facility, once they're in a certain lane, they can't change into another lane. So they're really stuck in it. See, like what I'm doing right now. So they go straight up in there and they can't crisscross, go everywhere. And there's also going to be a lot of, I don't know what you call these, like just, I don't know, just where they can't drive. But these actually make the whole area look really, really cool, because it also makes it look like there's other areas where trucks and cars can be pulled over if they need to be checked or things like that. Instead of just doing this whole thing and just having all the lanes open, I think having all the lanes open would probably not look realistic, because there does need to be an area where they can pull cars over out of the way while other vehicles still go around. But I mean, I'm just assuming, I've never gone through one, so. Now I also end up putting in these little toll booth kind of barricade things. Obviously, if I put them down, they would never go up, so I had to choose ones that the little bridge thingy, the little fence is always up. So, but it's just really there for appearance. Same with those orange cones as well. They're all there for appearance, but they really do create a nice image. They make it look a little bit more in depth as well. Having all these lines and lanes and things like that, having it all connected like that also makes it look really, really cool. It also makes it look a little bit more realistic, I think, and it just really, really looks good. So obviously we don't want all the trucks to go straight ahead. We want the trucks to have to go in the left 2 lanes, whereas all the other vehicles, they can just go straight ahead and go into any lane. So I do that on both sides, and it works actually really, really good, which you guys will see more towards the end. Yeah, I'll give you guys a full big display of everything at the end. It looks really, really cool, and actually it looks very satisfying. So get ready to be satisfied, because oof, I am satisfied after, because they just all go straight through. There is obviously going to be there's going to be more of a waiting time, so the traffic percentage for the overall map is going to be reduced, just because the cars are going to be slowed down. The speed limits going through the actual whole thing is about 10, but then it's only 10 when they go right through like the toll booth area, but leading up to it and straight after it, I think it's about 40 or 50 kilometers an hour, and then beyond that is about 80 kilometers before and after, and then after that it's back to 100 or 110 kilometers an hour, whatever it was. Now, it wouldn't look complete if we didn't put in some extra little buildings as well. So these buildings, they're actually office buildings, but I think they fit in with the whole look because they're a little bit grungy, a little bit dirty, and they're not a bright color. They fit in really well with basically everything. Yeah, I just use those on either side. Now, I could go one step further and put in like extra really big walls that kind of go out throughout the land. Maybe I'll do that in the next episode. I'm not sure. Maybe that'll trigger some people. I don't know. I don't know. Some people, you know what? Some people are funny when I do certain things because they just get triggered and blah, 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 whatever. So yeah, like I said, lots of barriers, barriers connecting up different lanes. Sometimes, well, actually a lot of the time throughout this area, there's more than enough lanes, then the lanes have to all funnel down into a smaller amount, which is completely fine. They all get through it eventually. That truck crossing, connection there, I actually changed that up a little bit because I don't like how quick it connects onto the main road. I give them more of a slip lane to gain their speed before they actually get onto it as well. So you know what, this is kind of wrapping up the speed build for this side, so why don't we jump to the end and have a look at how it all looks. So get ready to be satisfied. And here it is, our new border crossing. Look at that. You can see all the trucks are using the correct lanes. They're using all of the lanes as well, which is super satisfying. The buildings fit in really well. I put in extra little arrows to show where the trucks should go, and I also put little slow words on the roads. Also added in a few more decals to add in like the tire marks and a bit of a grungy look, which actually makes it look more realistic. It makes it look really cool as well. And just look at that, they all go straight through, super satisfying, and we're generating money as well, which is really cool. So look at that. Also, I should mention all of the assets and props and things that I used for this video have been added into the asset list below. That's linked in the description. Go check it out if you want to see more about these. And that's basically it, you guys. So don't forget to stick around for the next episode, which will be out very soon, where we basically dive into the names of everything, figure out exactly where the borders are and things like that. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all very soon with another video.